Bangladesh, a nation born from strife, faced a devastating challenge just 3 years after its hard-won independence. In 1974, a devastating famine gripped the nation, claiming an estimated 1.5 million lives. The famine, a stark reminder of the fragility of newly established nations, left an indelible mark on Bangladesh's history and psyche. The 1974 famine serves as a poignant reminder of the devastating consequences of poverty and inequality. The 1974 Bangladesh famine was not a singular event, but the culmination of a series of unfortunate events. It was a perfect storm of natural calamities and systemic failures that converged to create a humanitarian crisis of immense proportions. A major contributing factor was the devastating flood that ravaged the country in 1974. The floodwaters destroyed vast swathes of agricultural land, wiping out crops and disrupting the livelihoods of millions of farmers. And this natural disaster severely impacted food production, creating widespread shortages and pushing up food prices. Adding to the woes of the flood-ravaged nation was the global oil crisis of 1973. The crisis triggered a sharp rise in oil prices, which had a cascading effect on the Bangladeshi economy. Inflation soared, eroding the purchasing power of ordinary citizens. The cost of essential commodities, including food, skyrocketed, making it increasingly difficult for people to afford basic sustenance. The situation was further exacerbated by the misallocation of aid. While international aid flowed into the country, it was not always directed toward those who needed it most. A significant portion of the aid was diverted to budget support and public sector wages, failing to reach the starving masses. This misdirection of resources highlighted the challenges of effective aid distribution and the urgent need for transparency and accountability. Compounding these challenges was the failure of the international community to respond effectively to the crisis. The United States, a major food aid donor, withheld aid for a year due to Bangladesh's trade with Cuba. This politically motivated decision had devastating consequences for the famine-stricken nation. The 1974 famine exposed the politicization of aid and the urgent need for a more humane and needs-based approach to international assistance. The Awami League government, led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, found itself ill-prepared to handle the scale and complexity of the 1974 famine. The government's response was widely criticized as being slow, inadequate, and marred by corruption. There were allegations of hoarding and profiteering, further exacerbating the food shortage. The government's inability to effectively address the crisis led to widespread discontent and eroded public trust in the newly formed government. The famine had profound political consequences for Bangladesh. The government's perceived failure to handle the crisis tarnished its image and fueled political instability. The crisis provided ammunition to the opposition, who accused the government of incompetence and corruption. The political climate became increasingly volatile, paving the way for a military coup in 1975 that overthrew Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's government. The assassination of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in 1975, just a year after the famine, marked a turning point in Bangladesh's political history. The tragedy plunged the nation into a period of political turmoil and instability. The famine, while not the sole cause, undoubtedly played a role in creating the conditions that led to the tragic downfall of Bangladesh's founding father. The 1974 famine served as a harsh lesson for the nascent democracy. It underlined the importance of good governance, transparency, and accountability in times of crisis. The famine highlighted the critical need for a responsive and accountable government that prioritizes the welfare of its citizens, especially the most vulnerable. The 1974 Bangladesh famine, though a painful chapter in the nation's history, offered invaluable lessons. The crisis underscored the importance of disaster preparedness, food security, and social safety nets. It highlighted the need for effective early warning systems, robust agricultural policies, and a more equitable distribution of resources. The famine led to a paradigm shift in Bangladesh's approach to food security. The government implemented policies aimed at boosting agricultural productivity, diversifying food sources, and strengthening social safety nets. These included the creation of public food distribution systems, rural employment schemes, and targeted programs for vulnerable groups. The lessons learned from the 1974 famine continue to inform Bangladesh's development policies today. The 1974 famine also had a profound impact on Bangladeshi society. It led to a surge in social activism and the emergence of new social actors. Non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, played a crucial role in providing relief and rehabilitation, filling the void left by the government. Organizations like BRAC, Gano Shastya Kendra, and Grameen Bank emerged in the aftermath of the famine, pioneering innovative approaches to poverty alleviation and rural development. The 1974 Bangladesh famine serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of poverty, inequality, and governance failures. It underscores the need for sustainable development, social justice, and global solidarity in an increasingly interconnected world. The lessons learned from this tragedy continue to shape Bangladesh's journey towards a more equitable and prosperous future.